Hey everybody, Ralph Havens here, and video number 2 today. I'm also uploading a whole bunch of them that I made this last week when I was in class. And what I want you to do, try this if you like, or don't if you don't, is test something, because I always like to see if something changes right away. If something changes right away. So if you're dealing with a pain or a problem or a condition or some kind of concern, make a little mental note about it, like, oh, and if you can test it, like, um, you know, check your motion, walk around, move your shoulders, bend your back, stand up, bend forward, do things, and then notice if something were to change for you today, what might that be? And really think about it for a minute, kind of focus on it. And that's going to be a real key word for today, focus. Focus for just a bit, like just for a second, put your focus on it and then let it go. And anything else that you want, just focus on it. Like look at it. Like, if you're kind of like looking across the environment, but then you focus on a bug, or you focus on a word, or you focus on your finger, or you focus on a leaf, or you focus on a squirrel. Just, you could just like blindly go by and your eyes are scanning it, but you're not looking and you didn't see it. Or you can go by and when you notice something, you actually focus on it, and it focuses your eye on the squirrel, or focuses your eye on the tree stump, or focuses your eye on the book, or the word, or the thing. And so in that split second, you're going from just like to like focus on it. So so with the same thing with what you want right now, just kind of like scan, like, what do you want? Oh, I want that. So focus on it for just a second. Oh, I want that. Okay. And oh, I want that. And then let it go. And then we'll retest it again in a little bit. Okay. Does that sound good? And let's see what's different for you, even right now, even with this video. So try this and see what you think. And there's a thing in Matrix called the 2-point, which basically means here's one possibility of your universe, of what might be going on in your life, and here's another one. And then out of that possibility and this possibility and everything in between and everything around it, we can let go, and then some other reality can show up. Now, the best way to learn this is to take the Matrix Energized classes, of course, from Richard Bartlett and Melissa Joy when she's teaching, and they're coming to Seattle in December. So we're thinking we just might be there. So we know some people that are going, and it might be pretty cool. So you might see us there. And but you're not going to just learn it from me telling you about it. It's something different than that. But you can kind of you're in a Matrix Energetic session right now, and we're going to play with this idea of here's 1 point, here's 2 points, and then there's all these infinite points in between, right? My friend Kim Burnham, who told us about Matrix initially, said, you know how the coast of California, how long is the coast of California? And you might measure it in miles and go, it's this long, right? But if you took if you had your map of the satellite map, and then you zoomed in, you'd go, oh, well, it's not a straight line right here. There's like, if you look closer, it's like goes like this. So there's a little more distance. So it's a little longer than we thought. And then you take that and you blow it up even more, and you look closer, and now that part that looks straight now also has this. And of course you could do this infinite number of times, right? And so if you could do that infinite number of times, every time you zoom in, when it first looks like, oh, there's a little line from here to here, it's actually you zoom in, and now you made it this big. It's like, oh no, it's not totally straight. It's doing this, so it's longer than what you saw. And then, but that part looks straight. So you zoom in, and now you got this, and it's like, oh, but that's not straight. It's got this much. So there's infinite distance between this point and this point, right? The top of California to the bottom of California. Interesting idea, huh? There's infinity in this finite, supposedly finite distance. As long as you can keep getting your magnification more and more bigger and bigger and bigger, and then blowing up how that this small area, then looking a little bigger, it's like, oh wow, it's actually moving. So so there's more space, there's more distance, there's infinity between two fixed points. So you've got 1 point of your reality, another point of your reality, and there's an infinite number of possibilities in between. So how to access the one that's useful for you, right? The one where stuff happens, the one where you get what you want. So I'm putting us into a matrix energetics 2-point situation. And it's actually, without doing too many words around it, it's bigger than what I just said. But I'm not going to tell you that part because it would just be like you start to just, your brain would just start to spin. And so instead, what I'm going to have us do, try this, and you can try this all day long, is, you know how like you can just kind of like be looking, but you're not really focusing. You don't see something. You're just passing over. You're thinking of thoughts and da da da. So try this instead. So look at something about 20 feet away from you, and just then have the extra split second of just noticing it. Kind of notice what it is. If it's a word, just notice that word. Notice that letter. And then take your finger and just notice your fingernail. But take a little extra moment and just notice your fingernail. Like if you're going to look at it in detail, like all the little parts of it. And then look far away and notice something else, another 5 feet, 10 feet in front of you, and then focus on that. And then notice something behind you, as if you could imagine something, a spot like right behind you. And just kind of focus on that. And then look off, if you can see outside, look off into the blue sky or the night sky, and just notice that. Like if you could focus on something very far out there. And then focus on something maybe pretty far out there, like maybe a tree, and then see if you can notice. I was talking to an Australian who's very tuned into the Aborigines this week, and he said when they start to interact with the white people, they say stuff like, "Oh my God, you're blind," because they can see really far away in great detail. So just kind of notice, and then notice something really close up, like maybe a letter in a book. And then something really far away, like out into the infinity. And then what about, there's a bunch of Wi-Fi signal probably around us, and microwaves and X-rays and all sorts of things. And if we had the ability to see it, it would just look like a whole bunch of stuff right in front of us. So who knows what we're missing, right? So how about if you look just about 3 feet in front of you into the space and just notice, like focus on the space. I wonder what's there. And then look somewhere else, maybe 3 times as far away, but the space, and notice the space. So it lets your eye focus and then focus differently, and the eye gets to bend, and you get to see things in different places, and you're noticing. So what are you noticing? And now I'm going to just let go. 2-point windows. Zoom in, zoom out. Love Zoom. All right. So now what you can do, if you like, is to retest something. Test your neck, test your shoulders, see if you don't feel more lubricated maybe, or walk around, see if your feet are on the ground in the same way or in a different way. Some of your intentions, see if stuff starts to happen for you, see if something surprises you, and then let me know. Let me know. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, what are you noticing? What's happening? What's happening out there? What's happening inside? All right, everybody. So I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you notice. And I'm going to be uploading a lot of videos today that I made this week. All right. Bye now. Let's do it this way. Let's see.